Good evening. We talked about circumcision. From circumcision we went to the concept of evolution of the species, etc., etc. And we got involved in the discussion as to whether or not evolution, Darwin's theory of evolution of all species, whether that is a correct theory or not. According to Stephen Jay Gould, evolution is a fact, and anybody who disagrees with it has to have his head examined. So here's a person who has to have his head examined. Evolution is a hoax, not a fact. There is evolution. There's evolution of adaptation. There's evolution of survival of the fittest. But there is no interspecies evolution that has ever been discovered. And the fact that they found many different skeletons and many different things, but they've never ever observed any kind of transitional existence into a different species, indicates that it is a hoax. There are billions, maybe trillions of living things upon this earth today. And in none of them will you see one species becoming another species. And if evolution is a reality, I have to tell you this, there is no timetable for evolution. It takes billions and millions of years, but there's no specific timetable. The coelacanth, supposedly, there was one group of the coelacanth, that's a fish in the Indian Ocean, it's a big fish. They have these flippers that are similar to feet. So the postulation was that coelacanths developed feet and started walking and became walking creatures that walked upon the earth later on. And that's how they evolved from the sea. And then they discovered that the coelacanth doesn't even grow a stubby toe. It still has the same flipper. It still lives in the same area from Madagascar. So what did the evolutionists say? Not that it didn't happen, but this was a group who didn't have to evolve. But you see from their own arguments, that evolution is a random process. Parts of the population are changing, parts of them not changing so rapidly. And these are things that are happening all the time. If that is the case, listen very carefully, because you are stupid if you believe the other way. If evolution is a reality, then the causes of evolution are not periodic. They come spontaneously. There should be someone. Remember, you know what a bell curve looks like. Majority will be in the middle, but at the extremes there will be individual members. Yes, there should be individual members that we should be able to see that have become something else. That has to be according to mathematics. And let me tell you something else. This is B'Or Hatorah, Volume 3. Here is the picture of Professor Hasofer. Professor Hasofer wrote this in 1983, and this was an article based upon articles that he had published in 1966 in what is called the Journal of Theoretical Biology. His mathematical formula, which is a simplification of Dr. Lee Spetner, who was the first to present a quantification of what it takes for evolution to take place from one species to another, their conclusion is, without any question, that mathematically, that the number of changes per population and the amount of time necessary to do that are so vast that it is mathematically impossible for evolution to have ever taken place. And since it's never been observed, their conclusion is that it never happened. That evolution is not a hard science. Evolutionary theory is not even soft science. It's a hoax. It's perpetrated on people so that they don't believe in a creator, the supreme being. It's the only reason for it. And we don't need evolution. I'm sorry, Brian. I don't need evolution to believe that God created things. The fact that there are so many different types of dogs, they're all dogs. And they can come from each other. The dog gene could have many, many different variations within it. And God could have put it into the original dog. That's not a problem, but dogs are dogs. And cats are cats, and you don't have a dog-cat, a dog evolving into a cat and vice versa. You don't have a dog becoming a talking dog, or a horse becoming a talking horse, or a dolphin becoming a scholarly dolphin that's going to write on a chalkboard underneath. You don't have those things, even though they're highly sophisticated, highly developed existences. The truth is that evolution from one species to another has never been observed and is mathematically impossible. And if it is possible, and if the calculations of Lee Spetner and AM Hasofer are so out of it, then why, in almost 45 years, Dr. Spetner put his name on the line. He's an MIT graduate. He's taught at MIT. Now he's taught in universities in Israel. He is a very, very well-known statistician, very well-known physicist. Lee Spetner, Dr. Lee Spetner, put his reputation on the line, presented formula for the possibility of evolution, concluded that it's impossible. Professor A.M. Hasofer, professor of statistics, University of New South Wales, after going over millions of mutations, deleterious mutations, negative mutations, that they discovered as a result of the nuclear testing, came to the same conclusion, that it is mathematically impossible. He published his work in 1966. That's 43 years ago. There has never been a refutation of his findings. Now, if those evolutionists are so